right, welcome to another fantasy football show. We're here ahead of week 9. Week 8's in the books. Is this the halfway point officially? Are we calling it that? Next week?
No,
I don't really know how math works with the 17 games, so
Fantasy football season, yeah, it's like that weird gray area where like 2 weeks I feel like technically are the halfway point of a fantasy season, but I don't know.
like if you're not doing well now, there's not much room left to help yourself.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some people are in leagues where I guess there's a last place thing, and you got to avoid that. You know, I don't know.
Doing well. I'm the one that's not doing well. 1-7 in my home league. Last place punishment is to eat 62 hot dogs in a week. Joey Chestnut, a la Joey Chestnut. So hoping to avoid that.
That's like 8 a day, right?
That's like 8 a day. Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's breakfast, like lunch, and dinner.
Other days, but it's a long. There's like 6 weeks left. I can crawl out. Everybody else is 3 and 5. So
can you like dip them in water and just like,
I mean, I don't think. Listen,
myself go there. If we're there, like then I'm gonna have a strategy for sure. But
I guess there is like you do need a little clarification on like whether or not you have to have a bun. You know what I mean? Because if it's no bun, you just dice those suckers up, put them in a smoothie. You know?
Yeah, there's a smoothie every day.
Watching every single hot dog eaten. That's what I mean. I think there's some.
There's a lot of specifics that need to be spelled out for sure.
Right. But, well, if that happens,
no, I'll keep you guys updated.
We got to figure this out. Yeah,
it's like impending hot dog doom, so it's on my mind at all hours.
It could be worse things to eat. I mean, I don't mind a hot dog.
You're 2 games below the next person, so it's a really, really impending doom for you, right?
It's impending, but I think I'm picking up a win this week. The guys got everybody on bye. I've talked to you guys independently about whether to trade Ja'Marr Chase or not for a package that includes Saquon. Someone's offered me like Pacheco and Zay Flowers, which is a joke.
Right.
People are undervaluing me because I have Ja'Marr Chase, and
I would say let's not get too hasty here and start thinking you're going to pull a win out of your butt. I mean, you did that for the last 8 weeks, and here we are. So
he's winning. He can't have that confidence right now.
Okay, all right. I don't know. It's a weird spot, but again, we do want to revisit this, and yeah, I need to know who's eating these hot dogs.
Confidence or just hot dog depression. So I'm choosing confidence at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the injury report ahead of this week. Anything but my last place conversation. Yes. So. Derrick Henry popped up with an ankle. DeAndre Hopkins with a toe. Anyone listening to this before Thursday, fully expect him to play. Kenny Pickett's going to play. Diontae Johnson off the injury report, so that's good to know. I think we got some Diontae Johnson mentioned later in the podcast, but we'll see about that. Do you guys make anything of him not scoring a touchdown? I mean, the Steelers don't score a lot of touchdowns, so I saw stats like 662 days, something like that, since his last touchdown.
That's too long. Because like his point of his job is to catch and then score, and he hasn't even caught the ball that much. He's actually known to not catch the ball. So if he's a person that drops the ball a lot, he doesn't score touchdowns. What are you doing?
Position.
I see. He was in like dude category for me this week, and I was like, I stopped because he didn't score a touchdown, and then we had a conversation before this to just be like, yeah, he hasn't scored since 2021. It's been a long time. Not since Roethlisberger, I think he's scored a touchdown, which is crazy. But yeah, he had a decent week. He had 8 catches for 85 yards. That's pretty good. 14 targets. He's getting a lot of balls thrown his way. I'm hoping those. I didn't watch a lot of Diontae Johnson this week, so I don't know how many of those were drops compared to bad throws, but I'd say it's probably a healthy mix. If he scores a touchdown on that game, we're looking at him like that's a really good week. Like that's a solid game of football. But you're right. Like he's not the guy that's going to catch a ball and fight his way towards the end zone. I think he's not a tackle breaker. You don't see Diontae Johnson and say this dude's going to.
He goes down right away.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got me. It's like flag football for him.
Tyler Lockett, like just don't get lit up on any hits because you go to the ground.
Yeah, or you run out of bounds. Like he's very good at running out of bounds strategically.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's off the injury report too with the hamstring, but I feel like with him, we'll talk about Waller in a little bit too, or right now, that they're never off the injury report fully with the hamstring. It's like if you have chronic hamstring troubles, they pop up and then boom, probably going to IR for Waller. So unfortunately, people are relying on him for tight end because tight end, like running back, pretty thin out there these days.
I think you want him to go to IR, right? You're like, just do it. Get it over with. Because like it is. It's at this point, it's like infuriating. I don't want to waste a roster spot on a guy that like isn't going to be there. It's weird. Yeah, you want that spot.
Prime matchup against the Raiders this week too. He's going to miss. So Raiders Waller revenge game not happening. Josh Allen DNP with the shoulder. He's going to play through against Cincy. I mean, it's the shoulder keeps popping up. He might be running less. I think we looked early. He's like 34th in the league in rushing, so he's definitely making a point to not run as much, and that this might limit it more. But still effective from the pocket, still throwing passes. Gabe Davis touchdown is like a lock every game for some reason.
Except for when it isn't. He had like there was like listen.
Yeah.
He was on my radar, and I'm like, he actually looks really good. And then the last 2 weeks before this past week, 1 point, and then another 1 point game, and you're like, well, okay, there's not a lot going on there for Gabe. And then things change, and I think we can talk about it a little bit more, maybe when we get into leftovers. But things have kind of shifted with the Bills, at least right now for the time being, and we'll see if that actually carries over from week to week. But that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at. I am trying to get Gabe Davis as somebody who has Josh Allen. I'm just looking for any kind of like moonshot upside. If I'll take a 1 point week as long as I can and know that like there's a chance that he's going to pop off and like help me win the week. That stack it's going to be very volatile, but I want that. My team has been a lot of my teams have been very just kind of like bland. Like I'm going to get to this threshold, but there's nobody's popping off. I'm ready to throw them all to the wolves and just try to get some volatility because like I want to see some big games from somebody.
Taylor, I know you lost your cousin's Addison stack. Are you going for a Josh Dobbs Addison stack?
I wouldn't ever do that. It's congratulations for him doing like really well. He actually sustained Marquise Brown a little bit, so actually like it should make you think that like the offense isn't dead. I would just like Hawkinson more. I don't think he can throw the ball past 25 at all, and he showed that. Brown was catching the ball a lot, but he wasn't like those deep shots that Kyler was throwing to him. So, I mean, this is just someone that they didn't want Jaren Hall. This isn't a first-round rookie. This isn't a second-round rookie. This is a sixth-round rookie. This is someone they didn't expect to ever be in the position to play for the next 2 years probably. He was a developmental project when he was at BYU. So, that being said, like, I like Dobbs, but, I mean, if you had him now, you're excited because he still has a job probably for the rest of the season, but – I wouldn't be clamoring to get anybody in that offense. Madison and Akers have shown they can't run the ball at all right now.
They're both mid, just a mid off at running back.
They're as mid as it gets, the kids say. But Addison seems like he's very like he seems like he can do stuff without the quarterback being good or not. I don't know. I feel like I think if you just throw one deep shot, he can get like 3 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown, even though he wasn't involved in the offense at all. So, but the Osborns, the ones that are doing those intermediate routes, I don't see him doing much. Hawkinson's going to get targets. I just don't know how much he's going to do with it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem good, especially with Dobbs with no running game. The Vikings seems pretty stagnant right now. Cousins was the only thing keeping them alive.
Yeah, I don't know what that means for Justin Jefferson, too. Obviously, a lot of people are waiting on him to come back. They're competitive in that division, unfortunately, for Justin's team. But
yeah, I mean, outside of the Lions, who just still continue to look really good, aside from that 1 week they played the Ravens, that just kind of looked ugly. But they look like a really good, well put together team, and I'm excited. It's as a Packers fan, it's the season's over, right? I'm to the point now, and it's weird. I've hardly ever been in this scenario where I'm like, yeah, we lost. Let's do that. Let's do some more of that. Like like we have our draft pick. I'm like, can we do a little more of that? Like I don't want to win now at this point, unless it comes with Jordan Love competency. Like if it shows Jordan Love's playing well, then yeah, I'll take some wins if it's on the back of Jordan Love. I don't think that's going to happen with this team, though. So that's what I'm saying, right? So I'm like
in the mix for this year, really.
Yeah, I want an L or I want a Jordan Love win, and I either way, I'm happy. So
it is funny. I feel like I don't know if past generations of fans have been so quick to be like, let's tank. Let's just do it.
Hey, we've been out of the tank game for a long time, man. It might have been almost my entire life. I'm like,
you're back in it. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a sucker. Game. I love the draft. I love that process, and having a high pick is exciting to me. Right now, if it's 5 years from now and we're still like we can't find a quarterback, 10 years from now we haven't found our quarterback. Yeah, I'm going to be miserable. But right now, yeah, let's do it. Let's get a high draft pick.
Raiders do that probably longer than you've ever been alive, probably.
Yeah.
They've been trying to find a quarterback for a long time.
We're going to talk about the Raiders here and some dudes and duds.
Let me wrap up the injury rundown real quick. Daniel Jones going to be back this week. Deshaun Watson, not sure he LP'd today, so gives him more of a chance, but I don't know. Hopefully people aren't waiting for him at quarterback. Stafford probably out this week and then the bye next week. Drake London groin didn't practice, looking like a long shot for this week. And then Dameon Pierce popped up with an ankle, so not sure where that came from. Seems like Devin Singletary's getting more work anyways, regardless of injury. So that might be a situation to watch.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce not look good. I wanted him to be good.
I don't want to blame him entirely, but I mean, also Singletary, he got 10 carries last week, 30 yards. He's not doing anything either. Honestly, Pierce look better. It's just a matter of like they don't want to use an ineffective Pierce all the time, but they don't.
3 yards a carry looks good on that team.
Yeah. Pierce at 3.8, so you're saying that's like the best thing he's ever done. Then if you're comparing the two there. Now it's that offensive line has been jacked all year. It's finally healthy, and now it's the offense doesn't look great. Stroud, he had to buy, so hopefully they'll figure stuff out, right? But
I don't know what happened against Carolina last week.
Yeah, it just looked bad last week.
The game, and it just didn't even make sense.
That was a situation where he had the advantage. He had all the secondary pieces down for the Panthers except the number one corner, and he still didn't figure it out. It looks like they had a good defensive system for him, but he needs to be able to take advantage of situations like that instead of just throwing from behind and getting 330 yards every game. That's showing something, but not enough. Sorry.
If I'm putting on my football analyst hat, which is like I do this all the time, and I really like to break down. I love to break down the game of football. I think it's more C.J. Stroud was just looking across the field and was just terrified and intimidated of Bryce Young, who's just stature-wise just a terrifying beast. Yeah, so he's like, maybe there's something. There was a battle of the picks there, early quarterback picks in the draft, and he just mentally was out.
He flinches first, and he flinched.
He flinched. That's it.
All
right. Thanks for that expert analysis. Let's get some.
I'll take the hat off now. Yeah.
Dudes and duds.
Put that hat way back in the closet.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm sure a lot of people want that analyst hat.
Of course. Everybody does. They try to.
Taylor, who's your dude?
My dude is CeeDee Lamb. He's had an effective season all year. Cowboys have probably been up and down. People like not high on Prescott, low on him. They brought Cooks in. He had a huge game last week. He's the wide receiver 10 in most fantasy leagues this year. He was drafted below a couple top people this year, right? People didn't have 100% confidence in that Cowboys offense. They probably thought Cooks was going to take a little bit. 12 catches, 158, 2 touchdowns. That's an elite game, and he's done that more often than not this year. So good up for CeeDee Lamb. But he took a step last year, which is everybody was expecting him to. You know how high he was picked in the draft, but it looks like he's becoming a mainstay in the top 8 wide receiver discussion this year.
Yeah, Cowboys, again, they've been a team that's been very interesting. Like, they have the ability, I feel like, to do this at any game, but they also just as equally have the ability to just completely disappoint you. Like, I don't know why they're so volatile. Like, what's going on with Tony Pollard is weird.
Perfectly, because it's all tied to Dak. That's the worst part. It's like that's you just described Dak perfectly. He has the ability to do all this great stuff, hit all these throws, and he also has the ability to throw 3 picks and lose.
But the thing is, like, I don't even think Dak is horrible. Like, I feel like he is
not. But like, it's crazy how much the offensive performance is tied to whether he has a good game or not.
But is it tied?
It's like Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep referencing my Packers fandom, but I got to tell you, Mike McCarthy, I don't love that. I don't think he's the guy unlocking this football team. I know every Cowboys fans I know doesn't love that. I don't know what's going on there, but I do know it's weird.
Wanted or Kellen Moore, right? You guys wanted one of those guys, and it ended up being Jerry Jones's guy, which is always gonna win, right? So
race.
Yeah. No, it just looks like a lot of times when they do lose games, it's not Prescott. It's not they have an elite defense. It's their poor decision making, and not on the field. Sometimes it's on the sidelines, right? Like you say when you say a ref shouldn't decide a game. I don't think any head coach should be blowing the game. All these guys are paying millions of dollars. They're making sacks. They're catching touchdowns, and then you don't know how to do a 2-minute warning that you practice in practice almost every single week.
Yeah, like, they're fighting against each other a little bit.
That's the kind of stuff you see with the Cowboys. Like this little mental mistakes are the reason why they're not a top 5 team. And now this week, they got the Eagles. That's a huge week. That's why a lot of people in Dallas are saying it's one of the bigger weeks they've had playing the Eagles over time, because this is the first year they could say they might be almost the same. Like the Eagles have kind of not scored as much as they usually did last year. They still have the talent, but they're not. Their defense is little petering a little bit. Cowboys
has a knee that's like a question mark, but he's still playing through effectively.
Yeah, and playing fine. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. But the Dallas Cowboys defense is very, very good, even without Van Der Esch. The offense, like we just talked about, is clicking a little more. Pollard, I mean, we don't think it's a health thing. He had the ankle fracture last year, but like he should be over that. So if he gets a little bit better, he's not even
getting issues too.
No pass receiving work at all. That's the key thing why he's fallen off in fantasy. He gets a little bit of that and runs the ball better. I mean, we'll see this week though. This is a key week this week against the top Eagles team.
All right, my dude, elite stat line, Rashid Shaheed, 3 catches, 153 and a touchdown.
It's Randy Moss stat line.
Love it.
Yep.
58, 51, 44. Those are 3 catches.
That's good. Every time I see this dude play or catch a ball, I'm like, how? Especially this was the week before the trade deadline. In my head, I'm like this guy's a Dolphin. Like he's gonna be a Dolphin on Tuesday, right? I thought for sure. Like they just
the Robbie Chosen role. Come on,
he needs to be there. I don't. He just even though I know that they have like every fast guy in the league, it feels like, but I just feel like Rashid Shaheed somehow the Dolphins missed something there. He needs to be a Dolphin.
He has a quarterback that can sustain him. Like Derek Carr with the deep ball has been good lately.
I
gotta give him his flowers.
Wait a minute.
I think he's officially better than Jimmy G now.
Yeah.
I think we can say that.
I think we can pass
you guys needed a whole 8 games to see that. It's fine. I mean, Jimmy G
picking every game he's played.
Great record that he had on the Niners. You guys won with him, but he didn't win with you, I guess. Or is it the other way around?
I think it was Derek Carr won despite you guys too.
And now they're doing the same thing. We're just going to bench them and save their money or take their money or not
give them their money.
Years.
Yes.
You owe McDaniels 4 more years too. Like, are you guys done paying Lane Kiffin?
I'm not done paying Kiffin. I don't think. Done paying Gruden. Gruden has a lot of money.
Yeah, I gotta say. Okay, this is what's really gross. Is like obviously everyone's dream job is to be a fired NFL head coach. Like it's amazing, but it sounds awesome. How is there not some sort of like discussion with a team and a coach to just be like, listen, here's what we can give. We're going to give you so much money. Win football games. If you don't win football games, how is it not tied contractually to that? I don't understand how there's not a clause, like an out. There's nothing. Why are they doing that?
Players, it's so like performance based.
Yeah. Why don't coaches they're not held to that same standard, and it like is crippling franchises. It's stupid. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm gonna go to my dude. This probably is an anomaly, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about Gus Edwards. I wrote him down as Gustafer. I don't know how I feel like Gustafer is his first name. We'll have to get him on there. 19 carries, 80 yards, 3 American touchdowns. That's fantastic. It's because they're American. That's why.
He scored them on American soil.
Yeah, they're not American touchdowns. Let's be honest.
For sure. Yeah.
And he also had 2 catches for 14 yards and added a little bonus on the day. But anytime somebody goes out and scores 3 touchdowns, you're like, that's a dude. That's a big boy dude.
That's a hat trick in any other sport, right?
That's amazing. Yeah, and it's not even that he just fell in the end zone 3 times. Like 19 carries for 80 yards. He put up 80 yards. That's pretty good. It's not amazing yards per carry, but I mean,
touchdown. Did he have?
He's always been an effective back.
Or did he?
Okay, now chill. Don't test me on that because I didn't get those yardage ones. But
he had 2 1-yarders and a 7. No, 7 yarder is good enough.
7. You got to work for that. You got to work for that. All right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. No. Shout out to him. That's interesting. I know somebody wound up dropping Justice Hill in my league, and he's a 14-team league, and I'm like, I don't know. I would do that, but comparatively, you're like, man, is this Gus Edwards' backfield? Like they didn't trade for anybody at the deadline. You thought there was a lot of hype around Henry possibly going there, or literally anybody. Nothing moved over there. This is Gus Buzz's zone for the rest of the season. Is that what we're getting?
Well, Lamar too. That's the one thing. He's fighting Lamar touchdowns. Like that's the bigger fight. Like the fact that he scored 3 touchdowns and Lamar didn't get single one, or maybe he didn't get one. That's pretty big. Yeah, he didn't get one. That's pretty big to fight because that's what you're fighting off. He's getting 80 yards and 19. Lamar only rushed for 5 times. That's usually 10 to 12. So, no, if they rely on him and they just grind it out, if they're winning the game in the fourth quarter, you better expect Gus to have like 6 to 7 carries. He's just going to grind it out. He's been doing that for years. This was a top fantasy pick that I told people to get all year long because I didn't have any belief in Dobbins. I didn't think Justice Hill, he was coming off an Achilles too. He wasn't going to be 100% to start the year too. He had a game where he had, I think, 2 or 3 this earlier year, right? So it's like, oh, Justice Hill, but it's Gus Edwards. It's Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson. They don't need anybody else. There's no reason to get Henry right now. Good job for Levis keeping Hopkins and Henry. He almost didn't have either one. But good for your dud. But I think those weeks keep going unless Jackson gets a touchdown, takes away a touchdown from Edwards. He should continue to have 20 carries, 80, 90, and a touch.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to get a decent amount of yards with that volume rushing wise. They got to run the ball with somebody and then fall into the end zone once. I think that's something that definitely they can look forward to and kind of rely on. Dud time, Taylor. Let's dud it up.
My dud is Miles Sanders. He's probably
so this kind of feels like to me walking up to like a gravestone and just like kick it and throwing dirt on it and like the man's already dead. Like.
This is after Halloween
bad
too.
Because, I saw multiple people just taking him early. The Panthers paid way too much money for him too. There's just a lot of mistakes going on, and then the fact they're giving him 2 carries for 0 yards.
You could already see in the tea leaves last week. They were saying like, "Oh, we're gonna evaluate the touches," and then Chuba Hubbard gets like 43 to 66 snaps.
If you say like, "Oh, we're evaluating something," you're like, "Oh, okay." Like he gets like 5 less
split,
carries.
not all the way.
It's not like 2 for 0 and you're completely abandoning him. Like I get the whole situation, they're young, but this is a team that they won 15-13. They were never out of the game the entire game, which means never out of the game entire game. Too many games said. No, it just means that they should have never gone away from their offense, and they did. And like they didn't use Sanders. It just looks bad from it. The GM is also looks like week 9, week 8. They're already saying, "Man, I messed up already." You know what I mean? They and that's not usually like you play it off until like week 18. You're like, oh crap, Sanders sucked this year. That was on us. But like it's already showing like he's picked up a couple injuries this year already too, which is also one of his downfalls. He always has those knee, ankles. He never played a full season. Last year was his first one. And he had so many touchdowns last year. So you're going to see a negative regression in that. I don't even think he's scored yet this year. So that just overall was bad process for everybody involved. And then today was pretty much, like you said, kicking the tombstone, indicative of what he's doing all year long.
He's a dud. I think we can. He's dud of the year material, to be honest.
Dud of the year material at week 8, week 9. Not only that, you have 10 weeks to figure your ish out, right? And if you don't, that's crazy. Like this is a dude that's getting paid $10 million a year at a position that's considered fungible, considered we don't pay them. Like you wanted to pay Barkley $12 million or Jacobs $12 million, Barkley $11 million. You got Sanders with $84 million contract, and this is what's happening. So it's a lot going on all sides. But yeah, you're right, kicking him down while he's down. But I think
he's done. I don't think he gets mentioned on this podcast the rest of the season. I will say Frank Reich did like a press conference and they asked him about it, and he beat around the bush for like 2 to 3 minutes, and it was just like, listen, I love Miles Sanders. He's a great guy. He's definitely part of the team. Blah blah blah.
The team every time they say you're
no. He's like, yeah, you're doing it. He's a good football player, and he's like, but I'm not gonna say his time's gonna come, but I'm not gonna say it's over. Like it was a weird thing. But
the Eagles didn't waste time. They said week 1, Penny, we're done with him.
Yeah.
We signed him for $8 million, but we're done with him.
They made the decision already. Now they have 10 weeks. And also they're not going to say straight up, because it's saying that they made a mistake. Tepper into the GM, like you just wasted money on a running back when you could have just rocked Chuba Hubbard and maybe Diontae Foreman again.
You could have just kept Foreman. Yeah, Foreman's got some juice.
It doesn't make any sense, like what they did. And now you're reading articles in fantasy. I just saw in Fantasy Bros. Who do you drop Sanders for? Or who do you drop for Sanders? And it's like that's where we're at right now.
You drop him for the empty spot.
Rhamondre Johnson.
Go get Khalil Herbert back. He's coming back better than Sanders' next big game, right? So he's on IR. Like it's like there's not a situation that you can see that he's going to do better. This is a team that's going to try to keep on getting Young involved more and more. Thielens look really good. Sharks there. I don't see why would they run more? And then, like you said, if they're going to run, just use Hubbard. There's no reason to use Sanders.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, I'll wrap this up on Sanders because I did have him on one of my teams, and he has just been sitting there on my bench. Coming out of the bye, there was a small amount of hype. Not listen. We're talking like a blip on like an EKG, just like a beep.
You're in Carolina, so you see blip more than anybody else does.
You just said Miles Sanders and hype in the same sentence. And
listen. I said
what the words were between.
When I say hype, I mean a window of opportunity for me to throw him away for something. I identified who had Chuba, right? And I went up to him and I was like, look, I got Miles Sanders. I used Miles Sanders as a throw-in to acquire Joshua Palmer. That's it. And I'm okay with that. I felt good about it before this week happened. I gave him to the Chuba Hubbard owner, and he felt like he got some value. I also gave him JSN. I as much as I want JSN, I feel like the Palmer's opportunities there the rest of the season. I'd rather have Palmer, but I don't know. That was where I was at on that. I gave him
coming on lately. I don't know.
He is. But again, if something doesn't happen to Lockett or DK, he's not going to have the upside.
Palmer's the number 2 in that pass happy offense right now.
Yeah,
right?
so I wanted a piece of that, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, I just want to let you know I was able to throw him in and pawn him off on somebody else. I'm waiting for him to hit waivers now. Not that no one's gonna pick him up. I don't think.
Leave it to Justin to get value out of Miles Sanders.
It was like purely mental value. It was like you can have the entire backfield. You don't know what's gonna happen coming out of the bye. Anything's possible. Here you go. Throw him in. Boom. You got a running back. I'm sorry. And then I got a roster spot, which is exciting.
It's just better than Miles Sanders.
Which is a lot better than Miles Sanders.
I think I want to crown my dud of the year, guys. I don't know.
Oh boy.
You're gonna have to talk me out of it because it's fully personal. Rhamondre Stevenson, 10 for 39, 2 for 11. He's part of the reason that I'm 1-7. Not the only reason. I'm not going to throw it all on him. I want you guys to guess how many rushing yards he averages per game this year.
34.
Justin?
I don't. Yeah, probably like 30, 35.
38.5.
Hey, not bad.
So I wanted to say how personal it is. I want to interrupt you for a second. My team is in first place. It's 12-4 in Scott Fish, and I have never taken Stevenson out of the lineup
because he gets yards per carry in your PPR. Like
you also need to make this
sustains anybody.
Take up that you did draft Stevenson in a half PPR league.
Yes,
which
before
people will say is a mistake.
Before Zeke signed, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that offense would have something. He sustained it last year. He got receiving work last year. Like I know it's half PPR, but I thought he'd get like 6 catches a game, not 2.
Yeah, there was some hype based on last year. You thought that this might be a big year, or at least allow him an opportunity.
I don't know. I didn't know how to pick running backs at all this year. It was him and James Conner. So like Connor was good until he died.
Connor was nice. Yeah.
I pushed that.
You put me on Connor, so yeah.
Connor was good until he got hurt. There was nothing wrong with him. Don't get mad at yourself. That's just an injury. Stevenson, it's the injury. But okay, you're comparing. He can't be dud of the year. It has to be Sanders. Sanders is like number 40th ranked fantasy running back.
Yeah, at least Rhamondre's alive.
He's 24th in PPR, which is what normal people play. I don't know what you're doing. But half PPR, I guess that would make him almost 30. So it was drafted high, but I want to defend him still. I know you hate him, but
it might be a little early for dud of the year. But again, all of us will get one, right? All of us get to crown somebody.
Anything else to go to a quarterback?
Dud of the year now. You can't argue Sanders dud of the year now. There's no way to get out of that.
Yeah, we're talking like a like a 4th, 5th rounder running back that people were kind of like a little optimistic on. He got money, but yeah, Sanders has been
Stevenson
horrible.
And Sanders, I'll say, was in kind of the same like 4 to 5, 6. Like he was in that, and that was like if you didn't want Sanders, you got Stevenson. You know, like the Elliott thing makes sense.
Stevenson now.
Elliott's just taking touches. He's not looking effective at all. He has a couple.
He falls in the end zone too. I hate it. Like Stevenson doesn't fall in the end zone at all, and not that they're ever down there, but. When they are, Zeke is falling.
He's not a touchdown guy. You wanted like his 5 catches, 60 and like 40 yards.
He's not getting catches or touchdown. Like that, it just kills him. Anyways, Justin, you're done.
Yeah, let me get my dud out of here. I know this is. We don't have to talk about it too much, but Devontae Adams, and it's not really his fault. But if you're an owner of Devontae Adams, you feel this. You feel the pain. 1 catch, 7 targets. 11 yards. And again, I don't want to fault him too much. Granted, he did. We didn't really talk about it, I don't think, the prior, but when he was just asking for the ball and he was like, listen, you want to win games, throw me the ball. He probably didn't want it to look like this. Throw me the ball. It has to at least be in the general vicinity. There were some really gross passes.
Yeah, like a good play involved to get me the ball.
Right.
It to me. Yeah.
Yeah, admittedly, there was one end zone drop that happened a week or two ago that was like 100% on him. It was right in his hands. But he was very frustrated after this game, and rightfully so. It couldn't have ended more horribly for him as he just absolutely dusts his defender and is wide open. Literally, if it's within 5 to 10 yards of him, he could get it on a run and just walk into the end zone. It was horribly overthrown. And
one where he hit like the cameraman.
Yeah. And then he immediately just walks off the sideline, and then they cut back to him, and he's taking his helmet and just
his helmet.
yeah.
He did everything right. He got open. He beat a corner, throw him the ball.
So good. Yeah.
One
so
thing
good.
I will say, when I was doing my pre-draft rankings and stuff too, people drafting Adams at where I saw him at, you have to see who was throwing him the ball. I know I'm a Raider fan. I had at least some slight optimism for Jimmy G, but did you guys really think he was going to sustain Adams in any way? Like that's
when
the
has
kind
he
of
ever sustained a wide receiver?
I don't want to call people like not smart and like not making the right decisions, but like I saw so high how Adams was. His prop this year was like 1,300 yards. Like it's not the offense that made them. Jacobs just led the league in rushing, so arguably they're going to hammer more on the rushing side too. McDaniels is not an offense where he's just chucking the ball as well. Adams will get his opportunities. They were well last year because they were opening up for him. But I don't know. This year was like I understand the whole Adams. Then these last 5 games, horrible. Like this is not sustainable. Like he should have been on your bench 2 games ago. Like there's not kind of game.
But how do you do that in your head? You know what I mean? It's like
you don't have the capital. Like you don't have anybody behind him because you drafted him expecting him to be the guy.
That's why it was always a mistake, maybe because like it was just he was always too high. Like there's so many wide receivers.
I would have been. I was in on him. I mean, obviously it's Davante Adams. You in your head when you're drafting Davante Adams, you're thinking that his gravitas alone, you know what I mean? Like he's a vacuum for targets. He always has been his entire career. Why would that stop? You know, in your head you're thinking the game plan for the Raiders is pepper the really good football player with targets.
Jacoby Myers is in the picture, and
then Jacoby Myers starts doing it. Yeah.
Well, here guys, this is what when you were drafting Adams this year. You had Diggs, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, who we talked about earlier, Mon St. Brown, and Garrett Wilson. You made the wrong decision.
Those are all better choices.
Garrett Wilson even looks okay with Wilson. He's getting like 7 catches, 100 every once in a while. A.J. Brown was a huge overlook. Everybody should have been drafting A.J. Brown. I don't want to say it just now because it looks like the right decision. But I mean, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown stacks were the move this year. Just like Allen Diggs stacks were the year before. You have to get the expensive stack the year before, and now like when you draft next year, A.J. Brown's in the first round. Jalen Hurts is the 2 pick.
Yeah.
You have to get these things.
You're projecting where they're going to be next year, pretty much.
Yeah, like good Devontae Smith is sustaining. He's like little Gabe Davis on the side, right? I feel bad calling.
He's the same category, but that is super insulting to Devontae Smith.
Same stuff, and you have the number 1 guy right there. So no, I just don't want to like. I get Adams having a bad year, but I think it's also like combination of just bad process. Like, just mention those guys there. People were taking Adams just because, like you're saying, he has the pedigree, he has the past history. But like those things,
that's why he's hanging in that range, not because of anything future.
You, though. That's why people, when they pay people contracts, they pay them for what they did and not what they're doing now. And after 2 years, those guys are 33 years old, and your team's old, and you're paying everybody whatever. So like, I know it's different. This is fantasy football, not real football. But
chill,
like,
bro. This is real to me.
Come on,
it's money.
How dare you?
Yeah.
No, it's just like I'm a Raiders fan. I didn't see the Adams year that we were where he was getting drafted at. But
real quick,
this is something
who gets the biggest upgrade in that offense?
They just obliterated that entire franchise.
Josh Jacobs is. Yes. Josh Jacobs. They're going to change the offense. Just run down people's throats. Throw the ball like 15 times a game.
Oof.
Make sure Adams is all of them. And that's it. Right? Jacoby Myers actually had a really good year.
So Jacoby Myers is dead then?
Like Myers has actually been sustainable fantasy-wise because the routes he runs are very good for Jimmy G. Just like Adams is a very dynamic player and Jimmy G isn't. So
I get a feeling it's not going to be Jimmy G for the foreseeable future.
I don't think it's going to be ever again. It reminds you of the situation with Carr. I think it's a money thing too. He has $11 million guaranteed this year, 11 next year, and I think if they sit him, some of that's not as much. I don't know how that works, but this seems like a situation like why are we not starting the rookie quarterback? You always start these older players because you want to see what you have. Everybody knows what you have in Hoyer. He's done it for 100 years. He's done He's never.
A tale as old as time. Brian Hoyer.
Jimmy G's just gonna morph into Hoyer. Like they're just gonna be one person.
He has like 1 or 2 games where he does okay and he wins, and that gets him to the next game, and that gets him to maybe the next game, and then there's that boom injury / horrible game. It's always injury / and it's like you can't rely on him, and it's Aiden O'Connell, it's a good start, but I mean, there's not much. I don't think Adams' value goes up. I don't think Myers' value goes up. I think they just run the ball with Jacobs more from a fantasy standpoint.
So right now, just to put a bow on this, any Raiders players right now, amidst all the chaos that just happened there, I would imagine a lot of people who are playing fantasy football are like, Jesus, this is horrible. Like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Do you buy? Do you buy any of these players? No, I'm saying, do you buy any of these players?
A little bit.
Buy May or Dynasty. I think that's the dude that they're going to build an offense around him. They're not trying to go deep anymore. That's not the offense. So, man, he's blown up last couple weeks.
You tell me they're going to run, and then I'm thinking Michael Mayer, little dump off throws for Aiden
But
O'Connell.
don't go after anybody else. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else really, Justin. Like O'Connell, I wouldn't even touch him. They're just trying to see what he's about. I don't think he's the quarterback of the future in any way.
How low is low enough for you to buy Davante Adams? If somebody's really low on him, like what are we talking? What's it going to take from you?
I think he's stupid to deal him this week.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's going to be a couple
if
weeks.
If you're getting him, that's smart.
Still. I don't know. Like I don't think you can win with him this year. So I don't know if you should be like I don't know
Garrett
what low
for Davante Adams straight up.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson for Davante
Adams.
Yeah,
you should take Garrett Wilson right 100%. Now. Yeah, take Garrett Wilson right now.
Christian Kirk for Davante Adams.
Keep Adams.
Pickens.
Diontae Johnson. That's tough. I would just say you have to add something else to that, like a cherry pie or something, like an apple pie.
Nice.
Would you trade Nico Collins for Adams?
No.
You'd keep Nico Collins over Adams. Is that what it's come to?
Wow.
Damn.
Ouch.
Not this. No disrespect to Nico. I like Nico a lot. I am high on Nico.
See how much this hurts Taylor.
Yeah. It's just. Yeah.
Adams is gonna have these. I see Adams every game now getting 4 to 5 catches and like 55 yards.
Maybe a touchdown if they're lucky. Yeah.
He's not. I can't see him booming anymore. It's all us or a normal Davante Adams.
Or just a consistent output. Yeah.
One more. Gabriel Davis.
I don't want Gabriel Davis. I don't want him anywhere.
All right. So you trade Gabe Davis for Adams. You'd rather have Adams. Yeah. All right.
I mean, if someone would do that, then everybody better try to do that right now.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I'm saying the perception right now of anybody who has Adams, if you're not, especially if you're not competing, you're throwing this man to the wolves for anything.
You're taking advantage. No, this is something you're right. That is a little inkling. You are what do we call him? The trade.
He's the mechanic.
My brain is always thinking I want to try to make a trade, even when I don't think I need to.
You're right. No, I think I just don't know if he can go on your team and win you title later. Like, I don't know what you're getting him for.
But I'm saying, like, if you could, I guess now is what I'm saying is if you can sell him and he's a flex player for you, if you want Davante Adams as a flex, I feel okay with that. Maybe.
Yeah, you're living with that.
You're like look at
Christian Kirk or Davante Adams 1 week.
Consistent enough.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. I can't do this anymore. Davante Adams has fallen from grace, and it's not his fault. It feels really gross. But I guess it kind of is his fault, though. He didn't have to go there.
In Green Bay, clearly.
That's what people keep saying. But he didn't. Derek Carr got traded. That's not his fault.
Yeah, his fault.
Carr, and he was doing fine with that. But that's a situation that doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. I guess is the bow on cherry liver.
All right, let's get some leftovers.
The leftovers.
Speaking of cherry pie, first one I got Kendrick not on the earth anymore. Unfortunately, torn ACL. He was productive.
Not on the earth anymore. Wow.
His health. Sorry.
Okay. All right. He just disappeared.
Kendrick, where are you?
Yeah.
He was born in outer space. Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas. I guess they call him Pop for some reason. He gets open. I don't know if Mac Jones can get him the ball, but he gets open.
Why do you call him?
He's got a plus matchup this week too.
Because he's popping. He pops when you look at him. If you watch his game film, he's popping.
Someone somewhere has called him Pop Douglas. I guarantee you.
Game film?
He wears lip gloss.
His lip gloss is popping.
Sorry, I don't know what year it is. I'm trying to make a joke here. Whoopsie. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully you don't need wide receiver help like that this week, but there are buys. So
77% snap count. 7 targets.
He's going against Commanders too with no pass rush. Like they just got rid of all their pass rush, and Emmanuel Forbes cannot guard anybody clearly. So I don't know if Emmanuel Forbes will be on him, but yeah, he's not even playing.
So there's going to be people like Juju Smith-Schuster and Jalen Rieger out there. So yeah, I'm going to take Pop Douglas over there.
Yeah, too. See, out of everybody in that offense, it's got to go to somebody, I guess. Maybe it's Hunter Henry the whole time.
Stop.
Maybe they throw Rhamondre.
So apparently in training camp, he popped a bit.
Could it be that simple?
Yeah. Acne? What are you talking about?
Come
All
on.
right, give me some other leftovers. I'm tired of talking about Pop.
Are we talking? I guess we could talk these quarterbacks, right? Because it's very, very gross.
Well,
The landscape
heavy
of
week.
quarterback.
Oh, it's
This-
so backup heavy.
This is going to be really gross.
on here, Jaron Hall and Aiden O'Connell.
We did it. Hold on. We did it with AR. We did it with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Let's pick from these rookies who's going to have the better week.
I'll go last. You guys pick first.
Taylor, who
I'll
do you
take
want?
the leftover.
First pick.
Aiden O'Connell.
Hey. All right.
He already
All right.
played the game already.
Clayton
Jacob?
Tune.
It's not
Yes. No, that's good because I want Jaron Hall, right? Give me Jaron Hall. I'm like, I want Iguodala. No, no. So for real, and this is interesting because again, like you said, this is going to be short notice. Obviously, they're just throwing this guy to the wolves. They have Dobbs waiting. He's not going to play this week. I want to see what's going on here. Late round rookie, you never know. There's no game film. You know what I mean? I feel like these are the scenarios where you get some weird stuff could happen. I don't know. It could be. I'm not going to say he's going to go out and sling it, but I mean, anything's possible, right? I mean, you could see something happen. And we were talking about it. Yeah, obviously he's a very young player, late round pick. He's a developmental guy. You say all those things, and I'm sitting here as a Packers fan saying, yeah, I remember when I had a Jordan Love. Would you rather have Jordan Love or Jaron Hall on your team right now? Like, I don't even know.
I just want to say I made the wrong choice. Clayton Tune's going against Cleveland this week. So
no takesies backsies, bro. I'm already in on Jaron Hall, so it's over for you.
I'm living with my pick. I'm just like, it's a bad pick. Maybe this is why I'm 1-7. Yeah, I don't know. Clayton Tune's a 1 week special, and then Kyler's back, so they're just throwing him to Myles Garrett, the Wolf.
Well, they just need to see what they got. They drafted Tune. He was really productive in college, so we'll see what he does in NFL. But I mean, his first game, it doesn't look like he has a lot of prep either, right? Looks like they're jumping right in there just because Dobbs was traded. Houston kid, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what it has to do. But, I mean, I don't really see that as a good thing. Cleveland, like you said, really good defense. You mean he's got to face Garrett. Their offensive line's been playing all right for the Cardinals, but
he's mobile. Hopefully, he gets out and runs.
He's super mobile. And Demercado's at least played enough. Like, he's getting 20 carries, at least 67 yards. So at least they don't have a non-existent run game. So it's something he can rely on a little bit. And then he has Marquise Brown. Trey McBride was the pickup of the week this week.
Yep.
Those are two guys that run very intermediate routes very well. So he can get the ball quickly to them. He might be okay. Especially that's something he needs to do this week. You need to practice getting the ball out quick out of your hands because they're going to be coming Zadarius and Garrett on the side. So if he's able to do that, then good for him. But yeah, this isn't a good start. Good defense to start with.
Jaron Hall taking on Atlanta in Atlanta.
Atlanta's got a good defense.
I like Atlanta's defense.
The weapons are there. That's why Hall, at least you can de facto to him. He's throwing to Addison. He's both these rookies. It's good. They've been with the team since rookie camp. And they haven't really picked that many injuries up. So both of them have been able to digest the system. But Jaron Hall, I will say, looked very poor when he came in for Cousins.
Sacked, fumbled, lost a fumble.
I can see why they don't. There's some people when you put DTR out there for the Browns, there's some people that are not ready for the NFL yet. When you put Walker and it looks bad, but you're getting down the field. You know what I mean?
It's okay though. Here's what he did. He put up bait. That's called game film. All right. Falcons are watching it right now. Arthur Smith's twirling his mustache and he's watching this and he's like, "This is who we're playing this week." Which I don't know. Maybe he talks like that. He probably talks a lot more mysterious than that for some reason. But I don't know. Jaron Hall, I'm in on him. I'm curious. I'm going to watch him play football this week and see what happens.
Is there any way Will Levis is not the future of the Tennessee Titans?
I think he was always the future, and it's good that it's come early, maybe. But that he fell in the draft for an unknown reason.
He's got a gun.
What the? I got just
gunslinger. If he can figure out offense and how to do it, which he already had for 1 week.
A little bit, yeah.
It's definitely his job. I feel like rest of the season, and I feel like it's in spite of the franchise. Because I feel like why did they bury him on the depth chart? Again, we're talking one game. All right,
Malik Willis. No idea why.
They buried him. They literally were like, "Yeah, he's 30, bro. Don't even think about this guy." And now they're
injury. He had an injury in camp too, so he
forget what
actually
it was,
lost
but
a
yeah.
lot of reps when he was coming up for the season. But there was an illogical reason why he fell in the draft, and he was buried third behind someone like Malik Willis. I'll say right now, definitively, will never touch the ball in the NFL ever again. There's no reason.
Dang. All right.
No reason for him to.
All
There's
right.
no reason for him to.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like watching him play football last week. We're talking Will Levis. Levi's? I don't know.
I keep calling him Levis. I think
It needs to be Levi's so we can get a Gene
Yes,
endorsement.
it's
But
Levi's.
yeah,
it's Levis though.
yeah, we'll say Levis. Just because he doesn't have the endorsement yet. But I think there'll be a commercial coming soon if he gets it. It's one game. He shocked the world. This man was chucking absolute moonshots.
Oh,
They were like,
loves him.
they were like,
They're beautiful.
like we're talking straight up and down. I was like, I don't know what was happening. I hope he's that good. That'd be awesome. It's good for the league, especially the fact that it's just going to be horrible this week for quarterback play. I'd love to see him do it again.
Does he
Who
do it
knows?
against Steelers? Like that'd be crazy. But
No,
anyways,
I think there is going to be a time where it's going to come all the way down. The thing is though, Atlanta wasn't like nothing. Like that's a very healthy, decent defense that he completely opened up. Like
Yeah.
Hopkins, that and if you can do that with Hopkins, like he was with Watson, you're opening up a different level of Hopkins. Hopkins can always snag the ball intermediate routes, but if you get him deep, then good for him. Levis is not going to do that every game, obviously, but if you can do that a little bit and he doesn't turn the ball over, which he didn't, then good for him. You got Derrick Henry still. You can grind the ball out late.
I asked you this earlier. Does it kill Tajay Spears? Does he just not throw the running back at all because he's looking to swing it?
Not a lot of dump off passes for like the Terrell
That's my
Tannehill.
fear.
Like, I think Spears is definitely dynamic when he gets touches, but like now it's just. And they're also, this is out of all these teams too. I know the Vikings have won games recently, but Titans are the ones that have the most chance, I think, to make the playoffs, right? So this is one that they do actually need Levis to stay well. I don't think this is also not one that, let's try out and see what we have. I think they knew what they had. They're burying him for whatever reason. Now that he's up, I think this is, like you said, I think Tannehill's done there. I think he was there for a long time. They liked him. He was a veteran. He helped them go to the playoffs a couple times, but this is a different kind of. This is also needed to change the offense a little bit. This is a little dick and dimes anymore. This is like deep shots to like, Traylon Burks should get
the ghost of Traylon Burks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but maybe that will open up.
Guys, I'm going to take my football analyst hat and put it back on because I
Yes,
have another really good riveting football question.
Go.
What comes first? All right.
The
Is it
chicken
the
or the
Gene?
egg?
Is it the Gene endorsement or is it the Hellman's Mayo endorsement for Will Levis?
I heard the Mayo came already.
It already happened for him?
I thought he has a Mayo.
Jeez, man, his PR team needs to get to work. Obviously, when you're buried third on the depth chart for the Titans, and no one's hearing about this, right? It's like you got to get that deep cut.
Him and Bijan need to be together at some point in their career.
Ooh,
Mustard
He's
Mayo.
already been in a Hellman's commercial. I'm looking at it right now.
Good Lord! All right, well then, never mind. I'll look at this football analyst. I'm gonna have to throw this hat away, bro. I don't know what I'm doing, bro. I don't know. It's over for me. You need to get the man some jeans, and then we're cooking. I just want to see him just in some jeans, just eating mayo straight out the tub.
Well, talking about jeans, shootouts and droughts time.
Yeah.
It's some shootouts and droughts.
The voice of that was definitely wearing jeans. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. You have
who
to.
did that voice?
Oh,
Yeah,
basketball,
100% wearing jeans.
Bobby Knight
Jeans
just
and
passed
chaps.
away. Bobby
What's
Knight
that?
just passed away. That's sad.
Oh,
On-
Jesus. Well, breaking
They're
news.
throwing
Thanks.
Bobby Knight?
I'm breaking news on this. Yes, on the podcast. Yes.
I don't know. Now I don't know what to say. I'll throw a chair in his honor this evening, I guess.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody do it.
Just
not through a window though. Don't destroy property. But
no. I'll just
knuckle to your daughter's hair. Like, good job, sport.
way to go, slugger.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miami KC, unsurprisingly, the top over-under of the week. Can KC rebound? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Please,
What's really
please
different.
be. I want this to be a really, really good football game. In a weekend.
Early.
In a weekend that is gonna, I feel like offer a whole bunch of duds. This has to deliver, or else we're gonna be just very depressed football fans coming out of this week. But on paper, you're loving it, unless you watched the Kansas City game last week. They got that out of their system. Hopefully, they bounce back and we get ourselves a competitive football game.
Yeah, they're going to the bye after that, so they'll be pushing for a win, especially against Miami. Buffalo, Cincy's the other one, 49.5. I think since he's fully back, I mean, Joe Burrow, 6 rushes, 43. We were talking about on the Pro Football Doc podcast that his calf injury is pretty much behind him at this point. So good for that offense. Hopefully they're dialed in again.
Rematch. I just realized DeMar Hamlin game rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfinished business. Here we go. We're back.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished, like they didn't finish the game. Yeah,
They didn't finish the game.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm not
okay.
saying go
That was-
finish
that
the
was a
job
little
on DeMar
dark there.
Hamlin. That's not what I'm saying. Jesus, come
I-
on. I'm saying they're going to finish the football game this time, and we'll see who the better team is. Cincinnati looked really good last week.
I
So
think I was telling them in the room. I think that bye was a good step for them because they did this last. Remember, they did this last year too. They didn't play well at all at the beginning of the year last year too. But they look like a team that's like because they're built to go far. It's just the offensive line was a little bit convoluted to start the year. Had the Higgins injury. There's lots of other stuff. They're not running the ball well as much as they were.
I hope they get Mixon going. I was just about to say
Yeah,
that he's been a little dead territory recently.
Yeah, there's a couple things that need to get them back on, but that defense is better. I saw them. They moved him down the depth chart, which is good because like he wasn't starting the year off well. Cameron Taylor-Britt is an elite number one.
He's
corner
good, yeah.
Now, they played well without Jesse Bates behind there. I thought that was going to be a much bigger loss. It might have been. We just didn't see it as this year, but they'll figure it out, I think. And they look offensively, they look just as good. Looks like no one can stop them. It was an elite defense they played last week, the Niners, and I think they drove on you almost every single drive. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. We're not playing like an elite defense recently, but hopefully Chase Young can fix that.
You are. Yeah, you are supposed to be. I mean, you got Chase Young. I don't know if he fixes that, but that just gives another weapon of an insane team supposed to be good. So,
Dallas at Philly's the next one I have, 46. What do you guys see from that game?
I would say under. That's going to be a hard nosed, hard fought
Division
game.
foes, they know each other so well.
And I know both quarterbacks have been playing well this year, but Pollard's not running the ball well. I think Swift gets shut down by Cowboys. So then they both have to throw the ball too much, and I think they both can beat each other that way. I don't know about you, Justin. Do you?
I don't know, man. These types of games, I don't know. I feel like anytime you get like these NFC East teams, it's like I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be. Huh?
Yeah. It's like a rock fight. I
know. That's what I'm saying. Like on paper, like again, this is another matchup where like especially coming into the season, these are really good offenses. Are they going to perform like that? I don't know.
On both sides, like if you named when you see Miami, anytime they play anybody, you're like, that's an over game. Like you got full healthy. You got a Chane, Hill, Waddle, this, right? This team's got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Swift is playing well, Jalen Hurts is playing well. So then you got Cooks, Lamb, Prescott, Pollard. Like those teams shouldn't go under, right? But like this is like you said, when they both go together,
this has the very high potential to underwhelm. I'll say that. Yeah, it's going to be underwhelming.
Ron Bland shutting down AJ Brown for absolutely no reason.
He's going to make the matchup bland.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's a bland corner. All right, last two I got it. Pick which one of these goes over. Indy, Carolina at 44.5. Seattle, Baltimore at 44.5.
Seattle, Baltimore. Got to be Seattle, Baltimore, right? Yeah, I can't in good conscience see a Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I can't see the Panthers and say that smashed the over.
That's what you're betting on.
Minshew's slinging it. That's fine. But I mean, the Panthers, man. I've seen too much. I've seen too much, and until they show me that they're like, and really, I honestly, like Adam Thielen's been balling. It's been really cool. I feel like Bryce Young has progressed a decent amount. It's not going noticed as much as like what CJ Stroud just came out slinging right away. But I feel like Bryce Young actually is a good football player. He needs to open it up. There needs to be. It's not. I'm not going to put it on him. I would say other wide receivers need to participate a little more. Mingo actually got a decent amount of work last week, but like, who's the other guy going to be? Is it going to be Chark? Is it going to be Mingo?
There is he like?
He's there. He's there.
He's not having those boom games. He had that one long touchdown a couple weeks ago. I think that was with Dalton, by the way. But no, he's not doing the second that he was supposed to do. Thielen's just doing everything. Tommy Tremble's catching some touchdowns though.
I was gonna say who's the tight end. I was like trying to name their tight end in my head.
Tommy Tremble.
Hayden Hurst. No, he's not hanging around somewhere. But
I don't know where he is.
He's gone. I don't know.
Hayden Hurst is he's on the Panthers. He's just not.
He's on the football team. If you check the website roster. I
had a better year, Hayden Hurst or Irv Smith Jr.
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst.
Irv Smith Jr.'s dog water, dude. I don't know. Respectfully,
he had like one catch last week and fumbled it. He was like, "Oh, we're not throwing you anymore."
He's 116 and a touchdown this year. All right. And what do you guys think?
That's Hayden Hurst.
Irv Smith has like 5 catches and like 13 yards. Like, I don't even know.
10 catches 57 yards for the whole season. He had 25 of those last game against the Niners, though.
Wow, doubled his total. That's pretty good.
And
That's nice.
No, Irv is something I think they just try to plug and play like a deep option.
They don't really need a tight end.
Irv Smith hasn't been good. He didn't even show. He never had a year for the Vikings. He's either been injury related, or just like poor performance, and that's showed here.
Panthers. One more thing. I don't know why I have a weird feeling about Mingo. I actually think he's good at football. I just think he needs a little time. And once that vibe kicks in, I feel like there might. I'm not talking like elite level, but I'm saying like we could get to like Romeo Dobbs with like a competent quarterback level of football play, which is like decent. That's like a decent fantasy.
Dobbs doesn't even need to catch the ball as long as he's like red zone elite.
He's got like 7 touchdowns this year, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been decent. Yeah, he's been
getting touchdowns and being there. Yeah.
Yeah, he surprisingly good at contested catch. Romeo Dobbs. I don't know why or how that happened, but I'm excited when the ball goes his way.
He was the number 1 in school at Nevada for 4 years. So when you do that, you develop yourself as like an alpha dog in the receiver room. So there's a certain point, like anywhere you go, even if there's someone that's like a DeAndre Hopkins there, you still have that attitude and you still like perform like that. That's why when you see him getting those, Dobbs gets all the contested catches and those touchdowns and stuff, it's like he's used to that. That's part of his game. It's just like your offense.
Yeah, it's just we're good. We're good. All right. That's it. Yeah, whatever that noise right there, that was our offense. That was it.
Good. I just stopped it.
That silence. Everybody who's listening to the podcast is like looking at their device. They're like, "What the hell? Just my battery died?" No, that was. We were talking about the Packers offense. So yeah, it went silent.
Well, you heard it here first. Your Justin Mechanic Dynasty buy of the week is Jonathan Mingo.
Mingo, get it, buy it, love it.
If you can get Devontae Adams for any of the receivers that we talked about,
Jonathan Mingo for Devontae Adams.
Stop. Not a dynasty. You give me that Mingo, baby. That's it.
Yeah, dynasty. Buddy. I think that's a buy.
Bryce Young needs to find his dude. Thielen's almost dead, right? So who's the next guy up?
I don't know.
That's how it works.
Mingo. So.
All right, thanks for joining us. You can head on over to Twitter, or if you're following us on YouTube, catch the show every week there. Any parting words, Justin? You got that hat still available?
No, I got no more, man. That hat's dead.
Okay,
I'm going to have to throw in the trash. It's over for me.
All right. What about you, Taylor? Any parting words?
Hope everybody wins their fantasy matchup this week. And if you don't, you need to start trading and making decisions so you don't eat all the hot dogs.
Yeah. Hey, the trade deadline isn't up for me. It's up for the NFL, but it's not up for me. I'm taking offers on everybody